Alright, let's see. I got something over inside. And his chapter 3 is over there. And his chapter 2 is over there. Let's see what's over here.
The emblem drawn on that card. He can't be. Is that the crest of the legendary merchant Masood? Come to think of it, he was supposed to hail from around these parts. Masood, the merchant who walked the entirety of both the eastern and western continents. Every merchant worth their salt would give a left kidney to read the chronicles he penned of his travels, the mercantile manuscript. To think I'd have the chance to meet him in a place like this. I need to take a gander at that mercantile manuscript.
So, up here. It's locked, okay.
Who are you?
Howdy, you're the legendary merchant Masood, ain't you? Oh, there's something I'm dying to ask you.
It's polite to introduce oneself before shouting questions at strangers, you know.
Oh, pardon me. Partitio, at your service. I'm a merchant.
So? What does Partitio the merchant want with a retired old man like me?
Oh, I've heard stories about you ever since I was a chickadee. Like that time you struck a deal with that horde of bandits, or when you saved that little kingdom in the west from famine. Oh yeah, and when you scuffled with the royal family? That story stuck in my old noggin.
I asked you what you wanted with me. A merchant should know how to get to the point.
Yeah, right again. Sorry, got carried away. I'll cut to the chase. Let me read that chronicle you penned, the mercantile manuscript.
No. Now leave.
Huh?
Don't make me repeat myself.
He's grumpy.
I have no obligation nor reason to let a nobody like you anywhere near it.
Nobody? Now listen here, that's hurtful. Besides, even a nobody's got a nobody's pride. And if I may toot my own horn, I've got some merchant chops to my name.
Oh, you do you? Then I'll give you a test. Prove your worth to me, oh nobody of supposed talent.
This is what I'm talking about. You got yourself a deal, fella.
Good. As a merchant, there's one treasure I value above all else. Bring it to me.
Huh?
If you profess to be a merchant, the answer should be obvious. Of course, if you think this test unfair, you could just give...
Interesting. I always stock whatever it is my customer's looking for. That's my merchant's creed. I promise, I'll figure out what your treasure is, fella, and bring it right here to you.
I'd very much like to see you try.
The legendary Masood's treasure, huh? I'll need to start by looking for clues. Maybe someone around town knows a thing or two about it. Time to gather information.
Yeah, he wasn't very detailed in his request. That's his daughter. My father told me we should all treasure ourselves.
Let's get to work.
But it's worth a shot.
As promised, I brought you your treasure, Masood.
You did you? Show me.
Your greatest treasure is her, your daughter.
Incorrect. Try again.
What?
It is true that many value their family above any jewel or gem. But that is not the answer that I am seeking for this particular test. Better luck next time.
She's standing right there and he's just talking down. I'm sorry, girl.
Tarnation. I was sure I had it.
What is this test that father gave you?
Huh?
What father meant wasn't his treasure in particular, but what a merchant treasures most. The thing you treasure most as a merchant isn't leaves or sundries, right?
A merchant's treasure.
That's all the hints you'll get from me. Good luck.
What do I treasure as a merchant? Like she said, not leaves or sundries, that's for sure. That's it.
What's it?
My greatest treasure is me. In which case, Masood must feel the same way, too. It's worth a shot, anyhow.
So, I will buy him. Silver tongue.
You want to hire me? What is the meaning of this insult, Mr. Nobody?
I've figured out your treasure, fella. It's you, yourself. You asked me to find the treasure you value most as a merchant. I figured every merchant's got one treasure they set store by above all else. Connections they've built, book learning, and experience. All these things are far more valuable than any material object, leaves included. Or am I wrong?
Correct. I'm surprised you got it.
Of course I did. My greatest treasure's the same as yours, after all. Besides, your daughter gave me a friendly push in the right direction. If I couldn't find the answer after all that, I'd have no right to call myself a merchant.
I am honestly astonished that there are still merchants in this world who know how to see to the heart of matters. There have been dozens like you who have come here seeking my mercantile manuscript. Every one of them failed this test and went home empty-handed. I started to think the world had gone dull since I retired. Here, take it.
What's this?
The key to the archive in which I placed my mercantile manuscript. Read to your heart's content.
Yippee! You sure it's all right?
I've grown old. I don't have much time left. When I pass, so too will my greatest treasure, correct? So I might as well pass on a part of that treasure to you, Partitio the merchant. The sum treasure of those who came before you.
You got it, fella. Thank you.
You can now pursue the mercantile manuscript in the archives. The records are full of information documented. You never know what knowledge you might glean about items, equipment, and more. Demium, some study on Kate's, all about Octopaths. Reach for the next shelf. Riddles of the demi-humans, the Great Wall in myth and legend. Speaking of that, we still have an area over at the Great Wall. Okay, to the Netherworld. On an island lost in sea, split twain, lies a portal to an alien plane. Yeah, I think that's the one we found earlier. Beware, be warned. The fools should approach, for none should draw near this gate and encroach. Enchanted and magical weapons. No. Battle-tested ornaments. Doesn't really tell us where. That's about these weapons, but it probably doesn't say where. One by one, these artifacts were lost, and with them the skills and knowledge needed to wield them. Not cultivation. This is just history. Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of stuff. Yeah, we're gonna head over to Clock Bank. And we're gonna wait with this just for a few minutes. The thief job must be up here. We didn't check everything around here. Yeah, there it is. Let's see what they have. Not very great items. Welcome. It's always nice to see new faces around here. Anyone reach this place is welcome in the Thieves Guild. I'm sure you don't have been told why folks are only here at night. Yes, before I forget, please don't tell anyone else about this guild. It's for your own good. Hear more information, get a license. We had something to show them. Secondary job license can be obtained in guilds throughout the world. Completing guild tasks, and you can acquire multiple licenses. Enable multiple travelers to use the same secondary job. You can obtain up to 3 licenses at a single guild. However, there are no guilds for special secondary jobs, so only a single traveler can use these jobs at a time. There it is. Okay. So how many do we have right now? We're missing like 2. Something around that. Yeah, I would say we're missing 2 jobs. Oh, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, let's do his story. I don't think we need to do that here now. Give a tale.
Whew, boy. Is this what all towns on the eastern continent are like? It's a world apart from what I knew back in Oars Rush. The scent of commerce. I could smell it on the wind. Now then, might as well stop gabbing and get to exploring this town.
This is unacceptable. You will pay, and you will pay in full.
But it's just a kid.
Huh?
I can't afford to spare the leaves. I just paid taxes and I'm squeezed tight as it is.
Damned kids. Don't understand the way the world works. The Rock Company is kind enough to provide for you. That puts you in our debt.
The Rock Company?
You live in this town, you must pay taxes. It's part of our social contract. Adult or minor, there are no exceptions.
You won't see a leaf from me. My younger siblings will starve without this money.
I don't want to have to break your knees, kid, but...
Whoa there, fella. I think I've heard enough. Extorting money from a youngster? You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
You got lucky, kid. But I'll be back. Everyone pays their dues, eventually. Remember that.
You all right, son? You earn all those leaves yourself? My hat's off to you. Run along now.
Thanks, yellow guy.
You there! Yes, you! I saw the whole thing!
Yeah, what?
Mysterious man in yellow coat chases off villainous Rock Company collector! Oh, what a scoop! I can see the headline now.
Excuse me, who are you?
Oh, my apologies. Here's my card.
Ori, scrivener for the Delstead Times. Is this supposed to be you? You're a funny one. Why not just tell me who you are? I'm right here.
That's my business card is why.
Well, what's a business card?
Huh?
That's what this is called. Never seen one of these before. No one back in Oars Rush had use for something like this.
My oh my, I guess these aren't in vogue out in the West. Ah, don't tell me you don't have newspapers either.
I don't think so.
Here you go. Today's Gazette. Give it a read.
Oh boy, so this is a newspaper. You here in the East have some wild ideas. Hey, thanks. I'll give it a read for sure. By the by, what's this rock company I just heard about?
Why, it's the enterprise owned by the world-famous business tycoon Rock Brilliant.
Aha! I thought it'd be tied to Mr. Rock somehow.
Mr. Rock? The Rock Company was established 8 years ago and grew at an astonishing pace. It's one of the largest business concerns in the world now. Everyone's heard of it. It's all thanks to the miracle of the steam engine.
Steam engine. So Mr. Rock was right. The steam engine wasn't just a tall tale after all.
Provisions, textiles, you name it. This whole town runs on steam power. Even the distribution of our humble paper is all thanks to the power of steam. It's made the efficiency of manufacturing and transportation go up, up, up. Steam's caused an industrial revolution.
Hooey!
Thanks to his timely investments, Rock Brilliant is now one of the wealthiest people in the world. Huh? What's with the gloom and doom face?
If he's making so much, this whole town should be wealthy and prosperous.
That's a point.
So why do I see so many poor folk on the street corners?
In this town, every industry and person who benefits from the steam engine is taxed. Even the poor have to pay a heavy tax burden. No one around here is willing to oppose the Rock Company.
I've made up my mind. I'm gonna go see Mr. Rock. There's something I've been meaning to ask him.
Excuse me. I didn't catch your name.
Oh, pardon. Didn't mean to be rude. I'm a traveling merchant named Particio. Here, this is my business card of sorts.
A silver coin?
Thanks for the info.
Vagrant peddler Particio, censor, steam tycoon Rock. Good, good. I was right. My journalistic intuition never fails me. I can smell a big scoop on the horizon.
This is Mr. Rock's factory, huh? Guess he's making his steam engines here. Still, it's big. Too big to wrap my head around.
Wait, I need to run one more test, just to be sure. Theoretically, this should improve output efficiency by 400%. All we need now is a boiler that can withstand the high pressures and...
Oh, there. You okay?
Sorry. I was just, thinking and...
Try and be more careful. Oh, by the by. You know where I can find Mr. Rock?
Rock? You mean the boss? I'm sure he'll be in the company office. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Okay, well that's easy.
Increase boilerplate thickness by 4 times, and...
That fella's gonna walk right into a wall. Well, company office. Got it. I'll just have to go pay a visit.
If I may intrude. Tax collection is going mostly according to schedule. Raising the labor tax has increased our profits greatly. However, there is still room to squeeze more from this town.
Good. This town and all of the Brightlands have transformed thanks to the steam engine. But this is only the beginning. The steam engine will soon change the world. If we can mass produce these devices, global industry will advance by leaps and bounds.
You truly are a visionary, sir.
Wealth is a very honest thing, you know. Its true value cannot be realized in the hands of the undeserving. But once possessed by those worthy, it can change the world.
Okay, well, we know he's home, so they're just gonna let us go in.
Howdy there. Name's Particio, traveling merchant, at your service. Mind showing me to Mr. Rock's office?
Mr. Rock?
Sorry I didn't make an appointment, but I'm sure he'll see me if you give him my name.
I'm sorry, but I cannot allow you to pass.
You again?
I'm an old friend of your boss, looking to have a word with him.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, but he is not on the premises. I suggest you withdraw for the day.
Not here, huh? Shucks. Oh well. Sorry for the bother. Here, for your trouble.
What is this? A silver coin?
Now, I never said a word about going home. So, I might as well take a gander around the factory till Mr. Rock gets back.
Sounds like a plan. They're also going to let us just stroll right in.
So this is a steam engine. Steamy, huh? Guess that makes sense. Mr. Rock, you really are changing the world, just like you said. Oh, this one looks different from the rest. Huh? Is that smoke?
Oh.
It's dangerous! Get away from there! Are you alright? That device isn't finished, so,
Oh, I'm fine. Sorry to make a ruckus. Huh. Aren't you that fella from before?
I'm sorry. Have we met?
You know what? Don't worry about it. You said this ain't finished yet?
Oh, yes. Conventional steam engines are extremely difficult to produce. Crafting just one takes ages. That's why I'm researching and developing a way to simplify them for mass production.
Oh.
If we can mass produce the steam engine, the world's manufacturing capability will expand tremendously.
Oh, more goods means more business.
That's right. Prosperity for all, and all shall benefit. That's my dream.
I think I've taken a shine to you, fella. I'm with you all the way.
Really? Thank you so very much. But there's still a problem.
Yeah.
We need to drastically reduce costs to realize our dream of mass production. However, I'm worried that compromising on quality will result in dangerous boiler safety issues.
Worst case scenario, kaboom, huh? Like what just happened?
Precisely. Accidents like that will only cause promulgation of the engine to screech to an ignominious halt.
In short, you needed cheap and safe material to make your doodad with, right? It shouldn't be a problem for me. I'll find you a supply straight away.
You will? But how? Who are you?
Particio, traveling merchant at your service. I hope you don't mind me lending a hand to make your dreams come true. Boiler material, huh? Just any metal won't do it, that's for sure. Cheap, durable. I should ask around at the arms and armor shops in town. I'm getting more excited than a hound with a bone.
Okay, we need to find boiler materials. Yeah, he is very American. Oh yeah, I already stole these.
Hey, excuse me.
Welcome. We carry a wide range of arms and armor for our discerning martial clientele.
Howdy, friend. Mind if I pick your brain? Know any metals heat-resistant and durable against impact? I'm looking for something tougher than iron.
A metal tougher than iron? If I did know of such a thing, I'd be a wealthy person indeed.
Figured. Thanks. I'll try elsewhere.
Hey, hold on a second, buddy. What about this? I've got crates of the stuff I could sell to you. It's called clockite, a metal whose tensile strength increases the hotter it gets. That makes it stronger than iron, in certain circumstances. Of course, the problem is that it's brittle at room temperature, useless for armor or weapons. It is lighter than iron, however, so it's mainly used in the manufacture of clock components, hence the name.
Gets harder the hotter it gets, huh? Sounds like a good match for a boiler. Those things are always hotter than whaling peppers. I think it's worth a shot.
So we got 5. Okay.
Floyd, I came by some interesting material for you.
What is it?
A metal called clockite. Brittle at room temperature, but gets tougher the hotter it gets. Or so I hear, anyway. Your engine's boilers are always jumping hot, right? Don't that make this a good fit?
That's a good point. Let's give it a shot. Failure.
Oh, shucks.
You were right about this metal. In fact, it can be more durable than I had hoped. However, it's tricky to work. It shatters easily when it's cool.
But it's too hard to shape once you heat the stuff, huh?
Yep.
That is a rub, ain't it? Sorry, Floyd.
No, it's me who should be apologizing. I wish I could have made it work somehow.
Oh, rats. I thought we had it, too. I guess ideas from a layman like me ain't good enough to make this work. Oh, wait a second. What if we had an expert? I just need to bring us someone who knows their way around clockite tinkering. Problem is, who'd know how to work the stuff? A clockmaker, of course. That's their job.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. I've got a solid lead. Now, I've just got to rustle up a clockmaker.
I'm just browsing for a tire. Oh, getting gazing. I getcha. You're always dressing real fashionable like. A fine compliment coming from a merchant with such a sharp eye for quality. So what sort of rags do you fancy? I'm afraid the answer is a bit complex. To me, clothing is like a painting. A potter maker's soul and artistic sensibility is woven into each piece. And nothing fits me quite as well as a garment tailored by a kindred spirit. Oh, never gave a pair of trousers that much thought before. You learn something new every day. You seem to have a fine sense of dress yourself. What sort of clothing tickles your fancy? Yeah, that's easy. A merchant's garb's gotta be durable first and foremost. So you choose garments based on textile thickness? That's part of it, sure. Thing is, clothing's durability is determined by stitching. See here, my shirt. This seems a double up, right? That's called twin needle stitching. Requires a deft hand to do, but it won't tear on you. Seems like this tells me a lot of love went into the making. The crafter wanted someone not just to wear it, but to care for it. You don't say. I never thought to look at clothing from that particular angle. Patricia, why don't you join me on my next shopping trip? Yeah, sure, partner. I'll help you pick out some stylish duds. see, more banter. How impressive are these steam engines exactly? According to Mr. Rogue, they possess power never seen before. His words, not mine. Never seen before, you say? What's got your brow wrinkling, Ikari? The stronger person in Q is a man named Benkei. Do you think these steam engines are stronger than he? Your guess is as good as mine, partner. From the way Mr. Rook was talking, though, sounds like just one could win a tug of war contest with a whole gaggle of oil muscle men. So as strong as 5 Benkies, perhaps? Nah, 10 Benkies easy. Astounding. Then they are truly formidable machines. Say, you need help with cockeyed? Yeah, we do. We do.
You're just who I've been looking for. I'm hiring you to work clock-eyed for us. Floyd, sorry to keep you waiting.
Ah, Particio. And this is...
Meet our clockmaker.
a clockmaker?
Clockites used to make clocks. Makes sense when you think about it, huh?
In other words, he can work the stuff.
Yep. This fella can bend that metal however you'd like. Anyway, we'll let you get to it, old-timer.
Temperature control is key to working clockite. Overall, it's quite a simple process. Watch and learn, and you'll master it in no time.
Yes, sir.
Seems good.
We did it, Particio!
Oh! Ooh!
With this new process, we'll be able to mass-produce steam engines.
Looks like the world's one stop further along on the road to prosperity.
My dream is one step closer to coming true, too. It's all thanks to you, Particio.
Oh, weren't nothing. Now, let's crack open a bottle to celebrate.
It's been a long road. My master was the one who invented the first steam engine, you know? We hailed from a coal mining town, past its prime. Our minds had all been exhausted, and times were tough. We wanted to find a way to revitalize our dying town. That's when my master came up with the idea for the steam engine. But we didn't have the capital, and our research stalled at the development phase.
That's when Mr. Rock showed up, wasn't it?
We owe him so much. He invested in us, employed us. It's been 8 years. And now, finally, our shared dream has tangible results.
I remember what you said to me, Floyd. If we can mass produce a steam engine, the world's manufacturing capability will expand tremendously. Prosperity for all, and all will benefit, you said.
I believe steam will save my hometown, and all the other places out there that share its fate.
It'd prove all your master's blood, sweat, and tears were worth it, huh? It'll happen, Floyd.
Only because of your help, Particio. Ah, shoot. It's about time for the boss to come by for his inspection.
Oh, you're going to see Mr. Rock? Can I tag along?
Of course. I'll go on ahead. I'll let him know you want to see him. Come by whenever you're ready.
Hey there, can I have the bill? No need for change. I'm feeling generous today.
Oh, you. Whoa there, Oswald. Easy on the coffee. Why are you drinking this stuff in a tavern anyway? Alcohol numbs the mind and slows the wits. So you do it for the science and stuff? That's a laudable attitude. Wait, does this mean that strapping physique of yours is also for the science? Of course. Every good scholar possesses a trifecta of strength, discipline, stamina, and willpower. Regular exercise is an indispensable aid for improving all three. Hooey. I knew there was a good reason for all those muscles. Speaking of which, you're lean but strong. Not an ounce of wasted sinew. How do you train? Me? I just work hard and the muscles come along for a ride. The triumphant of practical application or theory. You have given me valuable insight today.
That steam engine we finished, it was right here. Where could it have gone? I don't see Floyd around either.
You there! What are you doing here?
Oh.
Hold on a sec. There's a good explanation for this.
No, there's not. Intruder! Intruder alert!
I shall be your opponent. My turn. Who's next? There's no need for flattery. It'll rust my sword.
I'll show them.
Oh, darn. Something smells fishy. Time to explore this here factory some more.
Make for the back of the factory. Okay.
Stand aside or fight.
Howdy there, friend.
Stand aside or fight.
I need a plan.
Down there.
Out of my way.
Come and get me. Ready?
No! You promised me! You said you'd help me bring the steam engine to impoverished towns that need it! Perhaps we made that promise, verbally, non-binding. But you haven't forgotten the contract you signed with us, have you? All intellectual property rights related to the steam engine will pass to the Rock Company in return for provision of research funding. The Rock Company owns all rights to your steam engine. I'm sure our mutual boss will be delighted to hear that you've invented a better model. Nevertheless, we have no intention of letting anyone else benefit from our property. Period. But... Forget your silly dreams, Floyd. They're not needed here. Silly? I won't stand for that. This research can bring prosperity to people all around the world. Technology exists to make life better for people. That's what gives it value.
Well said, Floyd. I'm in complete agreement.
You again? This is an internal company matter. Leave.
True. I am an outsider. But I'm also Floyd's friend, so I'm gonna say my piece. Don't you dare walk all over people's dreams, especially not for personal profit.
You've made yourself very clear. I see now that you are an extremely inconvenient individual for our company.
So what are you gonna do about it?
It's a cat? It's a dog.
Oh, howdy there, little doggy.
This is Garnet, the boss's favorite hound. Garnet here has chased off everyone who interferes with our bottom line.
Wow, sounds like a faithful and true companion.
Particio? We should run now.
Nope, I ain't moving. Here's a bit of advice, Floyd. Sometimes, you gotta fight to make your dreams come true.
But it's just a puppy.
Come on now, doggy. I don't want to fight no doggy dog.
What to do?
Okay, it's not really a puppy, but okay.
You're open.
Here I come.
Allow me.
Thinking time. Fire. Very effective.
All in a day's work.
Oh. Okay, never mind, it's dead.
This meddling youngster is a real thorn in my side. So, what are you planning to do?
Exactly what Floyd proposed. Share this here steam engine with everyone. Technology exists to make life better for people. That's what gives it value, right?
You haven't changed, Particio. Welcome to the Rock Company. My company.
Mr. Rock. It's been a while, hasn't it? I'm here to have a word with you.
Oh, have you finally decided to join my business venture?
No, sorry. Your time's valuable, I'm sure, so I'll get right to it. Mr. Rock, you deceived us, didn't you? After you left, poverty almost brought our town to its knees. I heard the truth from Gift's own lips. He said you snuck in that extra line in the contract when we weren't looking. You were the landowner we made that deal with all along.
Yes, you got me. I lied to you and your father. I wanted that silver mine, and I was willing to do anything to get it.
Mr. Rock, I looked up to you. But it seems like you've strayed from the path of righteousness. We're merchants, so let's settle this dispute like businessmen, with a transaction. Sell me the rights to the steam engine. I'll pay whatever price you ask.
What? You can't be...
Interesting proposal. I'm listening.
This here technology's an incredible thing, but monopolizing it will only bring tears. Even a merchant needs to understand that some things are more precious than money.
You don't say. Like what?
Like fighting for a better tomorrow. Things like this should be shared with the whole world. If I owned this steam engine, I wouldn't keep it to myself, that's for sure. Hear that, Floyd? That's the reason I believe in your dream.
Particio.
You really haven't changed in the slightest. You've convinced me. Let's make a deal.
Sir, you can't mean to...
This is what I'm talking about. So, what's your price?
We can afford it. We have the money.
80 billion leaves.
We don't have the money.
80 billion?
We are broke.
That's outrageous! You could buy a kingdom with that much!
You said it yourself. This technology can make the world a better place. This seems a fair price to me.
I see now. Clever as always, sir.
I've made up my mind. It's a deal. You want 80 billion? I'll give you 80 billion.
Oh, we are broke.
What?
A merchant never goes back on his word, right, Mr. Rock?
Of course. I'll write up the contract now.
The Rock Company agrees to sell the rights to its steam engine for 80 billion leaves. Thank you kindly.
Our contract has been made, Particio. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have much business to attend to.
Go on. I'll bring souvenirs next time I see you. 80 billion of them.
I'm looking forward to that day.
Well, we are ruined.
I overheard it all, Particio.
Yeah, hear that, Scrivener?
Industrial tycoon Rock Brilliant picks business fight with roustabout merchant. A fight fight to the tune of 80 billion leaves. This will be on the front page of our next issue for sure. It's gonna be big. Oh, I need to tell my brother about this.
You show up in a lot of odd places, don't you?
But where will you find that much money? It sounds impossible.
I talked big back there 'cause my blood was boiling. But there's really nothing much to do except put in the work and build up my finances.
What? It'd take hundreds of years to make that much capital.
I've got a hot tip for you, Particio.
Oh, that's so. I'll buy it.
There's a noble on the western continent that has wealth to rival even the Great Rock himself. Goes by the name of Alrond,
Never
lord
heard
of a town called Wellgrove.
That we know about. Oh yeah, wait, no. I know.
Well now, ain't that something? I smell a good deal. I've made up my mind. I'm going to see this Alrond. Mind shining my shoes?
Oh, it's the yellow guy.
Hey there, son. Working hard, huh?
Sit right here. I'll shine those shoes to a sparkling sheen.
Good answer.
Yeah, I'm working hard. I've got to earn enough to feed my family.
You know, with fingers that deft, I bet you could do a whole lot of different jobs. Hey, you have anything you want to do when you grow up? Shining shoes is an honest profession, but it's hard to pay the bills with brush and wax alone.
I want to travel the world. I've spent my whole life in this town. That's why I want some sort of job that'd let me go places, see the sights.
That's a nice dream. A big one, too.
Yeah. Well, all polished up nice, yellow guy.
Ah, thanks, son. Now I can hit that dusty trail with my head held high. Never lose sight of your dream. You hear me? One day, I'll change this world. I'll make it a place where folk can do the jobs they want. I promise you, it won't be long.
Breaking news. Vagrant Peddler Particio throws gauntlet at wealthy elite. Particio announced his intent to acquire steam imaging rights for 80 billion leaves. When asked for a comment, Particio responded, technology exists to make life better for people. That's what gives it value. Does his daring declaration have steam? Read on next to find out. The scholar and the merchant. Over there. Okay. Okay.
Oh, so this is Well Grove. This is where I'm supposed to find that Auron fella, richest noble in the West. Right, time to put on my best smile and charge on in. You just wait, Auron. I'm coming to find you. I heard this was the most hopping commerce hub in all the continent, but kinda quiet here, ain't it? I barely see a soul. Well, might as well check out the town while I try to find this Auron.
Look around town.
Mira's gone missing. She's had a hard look on her face lately. I think she may have gone to avenge her mother. I don't intend to stop her, but as the garden's keeper, it's my duty to see her home safe. If you don't mind, could you help me find her? I remember her saying something about a gondola.
What?
Manly man walking on mother's gardens. It was a simple rose bed. Was that a side mission I just picked up?
Excuse me, can I interest you in a statue made of the purest silver? It's a genuine Ores Rush article, and I've got the appraisal papers to prove it.
Wow, it's beautiful. How much?
50.
Each of these is currently going at the low price of 500,000 leaves.
I'd pass if I were you. Genuine silver? Ah, bunch of hogwash.
How dare you? That's a baseless claim.
Real silver's delicate. Leave it out in the sun and it blackens. It ain't sparkling or darkening, so it's probably just a bunch of scrap iron.
Just who are you?
Particio, at your service. A simple traveling merchant who hails from Ores Rush. This is what real Ores Rush silver looks like. Don't forget it.
Damn!
And off he goes.
I owe you one. It seems you have a wealth of knowledge at your disposal.
Of course I do. Erudition is the heart and soul of commerce.
Spoken like a true merchant. Please, let me treat you to a drink as a token of my thanks. How about a shot of spirits? Our town is renowned for its drink.
Ooh, that sounds mighty nice. Sure,
It's like morning and we're having a drink already.
By the by, were you searching for something back there?
No, nothing in particular. Just a spot of treasure hunting. I stop by the stalls now and then, hoping to find one. Not that I have an eye for it.
Ah, that's a worthy pastime. No one's born with an eye for value. You gotta train it.
I've lived in this town for a long time, you know. Once upon a time, it was filled with happy people and fine goods. It was a lively place.
Times, they're always changing, huh?
I wish the only spirits that went down the hatch in our town were the drinks. Particio, why did you come here?
I'm looking for someone. Goes by the name of Alrond.
The Alrond? He's one of the wealthiest people in all the West. I hear he wipes his backside with silk handkerchiefs.
Silk kerchiefs? I couldn't afford to do that if I spent all my days mining silver. Think he'd be willing to sell those kerchiefs? I'd even buy them used.
Ew. Look, what I'm trying to say is, he lives in a different world from the rest of us. His time's too valuable to meet with just anybody. Unless you prove your worth, you're out of luck.
Yeah, makes sense. Man cleans his rump with silk. Still, I wish I knew how to get in contact with him.
I may know a way. But Alrond knows business like a refined palate knows foie gras. He might agree to meet with you if you had some distinguished achievement to point to.
That's so.
Let's see. Select an achievement to report. A gramophone, mercantile manuscript. Let's go to gramophone.
And that's about the size of it.
Wow, a gramophone? I am a connoisseur of the arts, but can never enjoy a tune without musicians to perform it. But with that splendid device, I could listen to my favorite songs whenever or wherever I wanted. It would be a fine thing indeed to have music readily accessible. Not just that, but gramophones will allow us to appreciate the masters even long after they are gone. It's a most wonderful invention of this, I'm sure.